each and every one of you. I think we can do that this week over the next couple of days. We're on the front row taking notes with you as well. We are learners and just want to get to know you for a few minutes. Are you guys okay with that? Awesome. So my name is Jana, and if I can do one thing, I want to deposit. I want the one thing that Justin asks you about to be from something that I share with you in the next 30 minutes. Are you guys okay with that? I'm going to literally collapse time of 20 years in business into about 30 minutes. And I'll try to give you guys just some of those deposits within our lives. So my signature talk, and you guys are the very first, this has been birthed in me for years out of struggle, but my signature talk is all about business running without you. How many of you guys are business owners? Let me see your hands. Business owners, okay. So this is for you, but how many of you guys are employees? You have any employees in the room? Okay. Sometimes you're an employee of your business, right? So I'm going to talk to you business owners out here, and I want you to understand the transition that we should all be making. And first, where does it happen? Right here, right? So let's think about that as we share with you today. You know, the goal is that I want you to walk away with these key things. Identifying your phase. So within the next, now down to about 27 minutes, you're going to be able to identify the phase of business that you are in. You're also going to understand the firm foundation that you are building this business on. How many of you guys have ever built a house? Where does it start, right? When it comes to the structure, right? We've got to build that firm foundation. We were in a building project for 3 years, a house on the lake, and we actually had to tear down the home because it was in a flood zone and the land was just awful. We had 90 loads of dirt come in. And it was just crazy. And that's just like business. If we do not build a solid foundation, it's going to be like the house that we had to tear down. So we want businesses that last. We want to also develop the infrastructure, right? Remember, business without you. If it doesn't have the infrastructure, what can happen when you try to pull yourself out of your business? Right? So we're going to give you guys a few things there. And then I want you to think about a franchise model. And this is where we really start getting next level. Even though you may not want to franchise your business, you have to think with that in mind. Because it's really all about this, the legacy play. How many of you guys are thinking about legacy now more than ever? Now more than ever, right? What are we going to leave? But why don't we live legacy now? Why don't we plan today? And so we're going to talk about that. And it is about you walking away with your plan. I pray that you leave this conference with a list of action items that help build your legacy. And you start as soon as you leave. So that is what we want for you today. How many of you guys have a superpower out there? Anyone have a superpower? Like, this is the one thing that I do. I know it like the back of my hand. This is what I can do that I feel like really adds value. So for us, over these last 20 years and 3 businesses, I have felt like this has been my superpower that's been developed, right? That 10,000 hours to an expert. For us, it's all about styling properties for what? Profit, right? We are styling properties for profit. So some people call this staging. Some people, if you're in Australia, you call it property. I'm a property stylist. But this is, some people call it interior design. And this is all about now taking this gift and this expertise into properties either for sale or us also getting into for lease. And so we knew that was our superpower. That was where I started in business. When I moved from employee to a business owner, this was it. I had a love for real estate and I had a love for design. So here we go with staging, right? And staging, for the most part, does not have a positive connotation, right? So when you think about home staging, sometimes it's like, oh, we can do that ourselves. But really, there is that how do we now not only sell quickly, but we maximize it? So we felt like we had done the good, the bad, the ugly. We had learned from our mistakes when we started our business in 2002. And so that gets into my next superpower, and that is sharing our successes. We have a 7-figure business. We are building other 7-figure businesses, not only out of the successes, but out of the failures, the things that we did wrong. We were on the struggle bus. I was trying to build a team, and it was a little bit of a challenge to now duplicate myself. Anybody have that problem? Right? No one does it as good as who? Right. So we have learned. We've learned how to successfully build a team, and we love to share. And that gets into our coaching and training company. We also love to build frameworks. And the framework of that business, again, how good can it stand without you? How good can your business stand without you? So I'm going to ask you in a minute about your superpowers, so be ready. How many have seen this? Right? The cash flow quadrant, rich dad, poor dad. Anyone played the game? All right? Fun to play with your kids. Some people turn it into a drinking game. I don't know. I haven't done that. But here we go, right? The E. What does E stand for? Employee, right? We now move down to S. S is self-employed. Then we go to B, business owner. And what is the golden box here? Investor. So in employee, we're trading time for money. In self-employed, we're also trading time for money. We thought we could stop working for someone, and then we started working for ourselves, and sometimes that is the golden handcuffs. We're working more, and instead of making $50 an hour, we're making $3 an hour. But we'll talk about that here in a moment, right? And then the business owner. What's the difference between self-employed and business owner? Leverage. We have employees that are now, we trade employees, and then we've got our money, a little bit more money there. By the way, there's tax implications to all of this, and we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. Investor, what are we trading here? Money for assets, money for more money. And that is why we all want to get to this quadrant. All right, so here I am, and the lesson here is phase 1, don't carry a sofa in heels. That's the lesson, right? That's the lesson. So this is you working in the business. You are the business. And then my struggle into now going to phase 2 of bringing on a team. We consider that a phase 2 business. You may move from phase 1 to phase 2. We're going to go back to cash flow quadrant in a minute. Phase 3 now, the goal is that business runs without you. We've already heard some of our speakers mention that. And that is where we all want to be, right? So think about this as phase 1. I want you to write down right now. Write down some of the key components of a phase 1. What would you think a phase 1 business owner is focused on, right? What jobs are they doing in the business? Right. They're doing sales. What else are they doing? Marketing. What else as an agent? Everything. Let's just write it all down. You can just put everything. But they're going on appointments. They're scheduling. They are doing everything. Now, they may have some people that they can call in when they need to. But however, everything really rises and falls on this phase 1. They are everything. They wear all of the hats. Now, she's smiling. But many times we're not really smiling, because if our business is successful, then that smile turns into E-Myth Revisited, right? If you've read that book. We love to bake cakes, but now all of a sudden we're baking cakes all day long and we hate cakes. So let's now move into that second phase. Now, they're smiling too. We built an amazing team. What are we doing in this phase? What are some things that we're doing and we're focused on in this phase? Roles, expansion. Sometimes this can be the adult daycare phase because now we have drama. Anyone have drama in their business? Right? You're as that business owner, that team lead, you're just really trying to orchestrate everything. All things are that are problems possibly are falling on your plate. What else happens in phase 2? The team. You are a business owner and you have a team. Let me see your hands. Business owners with teams. What else happens in this phase? Sorry? Trying to break even. We're like, I made more money when I was phase 1. What happened here? What did we hear over here? Overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed, right? We have the golden handcuffs here as well. Now, the cool thing about phase 2 is we're giving people opportunity. We are helping coach up. We are showing them that they can too be a business within a business. And we're helping develop. So developmental skills, more personalized, more specialized. It happens here. Now we move to phase 3. Phase 3. So can you phase out of your business and what will it take to get you there? The question was asked 6 months, would your business still be more profitable without you than with you? And we're going to talk about how you can make these things happen. So first off, meet our team. Now this is from our coaching company in particular, and our 3 ladies on the top here, 2 of them are with you today. Everyone say hi to Lori. Lori's over there. Everyone needs a Lori. And then, of course, everyone needs a Miss Jennifer. Jennifer's here on the front row with you guys taking notes and learning alongside you. And then we have Jill, and she is rock star as well. The rest of the team, guess who they are? They're virtual assistants. Thank you, Justin. By the way, how much do you love Justin? How much do you love Justin? He is an adopted son of all of ours. We're like proud mamas. We're like, go, Justin. And he's been at our event speaking and sharing, and our community that we coach up and train, even as real estate services, are now using VAs. And they've tapped into the magic of virtual assistants. So let's meet them real quick. This is Joy. She is over our social media, the management of it. All 3 companies working with, and she is a rock star. We've got Ramon. Ramon is building an app for us. We did not even know that he had developed apps before. So we have a cool technology where we can go in and rate homes. We can go in and do consultations through a click of the app, which is really cool. And it rates their property on a scale of 1 to 100. We also give 5-star reviews for the areas, and it just gives them a game plan. So he's literally developing this app for us, which is cool. Also SEO genius. We have Kim. Kim is with us, and he is building out our YouTube. And so you guys can go check us out and just see all the fun that he's doing there. And he's got a great team member as well that helps him. Sheena is helping develop our publications. She does also graphic design and also web designer, right? I wanted you guys to see what they do for us instead of, well, I maybe need a VA. This is actually what they're doing. These are their superpowers for us. Michael is also getting those videos ready. We have so much content that we have that he's able to do cuts and do shorts and all of those things, as well as helping assist Ramon in SEO and then website building and coding. Kervin is an executive assistant. He literally is having communication with our clients. He is also making sure we have the right codes to properties, and we're getting video and pictures and all of those things. Our team loves Kervin. Raina is our newest team member. By the way, all this has happened in 6 months. That is huge. So 7 VAs. Raina, look at this. Sales, outbound calls, as well as appointment setter. So there are some really great superpowers with our team that allow us to do more. And it allows me to move into that phase 3 business. It helps provide and fill those extra holes within our team so that I can do my highest and best, right? Highest and best is going to be your superpowers. So think of this quadrant, right? Think of it as, let's look at the S, B, and the I. If you are a business owner, raise your hand again. Business owners? Okay, keep it up if you are in phase 1. Phase 1. That's awesome. Okay, phase 1. Now raise your hand, business owners, if you are in phase 2. Phase 2, you're in team development. Okay, raise your hands if you are full-on investor, and this is passive income is flowing in. You may have some investments, but you literally live in this. You're not running team. You are full-on into the I bucket there, and you are phase 3. Loud and proud. We've got a couple of hands. Awesome. How many want to get to a phase 3? Anybody with me there? The business runs without you. What we love is that business can be passive income. It can also have write-offs that we can't necessarily have in other quadrants. So being that investor, these are some cool things. It's going to allow you to have that tied back in, deposit it. We have some tax implications, but we can't even get there if our mindset doesn't change first. And as we work with business owners, we learn their big Achilles heel. Anybody know what the big Achilles heel is? Moving from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. Ego. I heard it. Well, if you want it done right, do it yourself. And we have birthed this company, so to speak. We are proud of this. My name is on it. And we are emotionally connected to our companies that we have identified. We see our identity in our companies. And you're like, Jana, we are real estate. I've got to be in the video. I've got to be the face of the company. But you can see lots of examples where now all of a sudden it moves from a one-person show to a team show. We're now highlighting the team. But what if they leave? What if they go join EXP? By the way, we're EXP too. I'm just saying. But the fear. So all of a sudden that fear keeps us control. We want to control where fear comes in. But I encourage you, let go. Let go so your company can grow. Let go to grow. Write that down. Let go to grow. Because you could be the one thing that's in the way of your company growing. Because you have believed the lie that it cannot grow without you, that you're the one holding it all together, that you know everything, and I know you know everything. But I'm just going to be real with you. I could not go into a phase 3 business within our staging and design company that totally runs without me. By the way, it took me 5 times and almost 5 years to pull myself out of the business. Who has tried to pull yourself out of the business? So we're going to talk about what was wrong with the framework, right? I did not. It was the infrastructure was not there to support the business, me leaving that business. So we've got to have a mindset shift so that we can grow. And this is it. We're going to walk through this real quick. Foundation, framework, and freedom. This is where we want you to go. If you skip a foundation, in trouble. If you skip the framework, you're not going to get that freedom. So as we move into this, think about this as the foundation. Now, this you could also see as a phase 1. You're developing this. But typically, people don't develop this until they get into phase 2. They're like, okay, business plan, I'll start it out. Maybe if it's not written, it's not real. I guess I need to write something down. I need to understand what business model. Let me read Millionaire Real Estate Agent and see what the gurus say when it comes to Gary and Jay on how do we build a good infrastructure of a team and model out my business when it comes to real estate. You don't even know what business model you're going to go after. You're just thinking in the moment. But that's where strategy comes in. And you're like, I'm a phase one business. I don't have anyone to strategize with. Strategize with others, get some mentorship, and figure out what business model. Go back and read MREA. Figure out the business model that you want to go after and set up a firm foundation so you can start building that infrastructure. You've got to have the goals. You have to have the goals. And there are plenty of successful rock stars in the room and on stage that would gladly help you set those goals. And first is a DIY mindset, right? Do it yourself. We know how to do sales. We learn how to do marketing. We learn how to shoot the videos. But we're learning to teach. We're not learning to stay there. We're vetting out that position. So if you were to draw an org chart, would you be in all of the boxes? Or are you in 2 or 3 of the boxes? And if you're in a box, you need to say, I have to work out the processes so that someone else can fill this box. So I keep stepping into my highest and best. We call it cleaning out your closet, right? Clean out the closet. The stuff that you typically do that is not your highest and best use of time, get it off the list, get it on the VAs, get it into your team, and vet out that process. So moving from the DIY mindset, now we start getting some framework. The people development within our company. We start hiring, usually friends and family. And then we're like, no, don't do friends and family. But, it's kind of worked out for us in those early years. Processes. Talked about those processes and needing those. It moves from your head to on paper. And we love videos. How many of you guys have your processes? You're actually shooting single subject matter videos. You're taking it to transcribeme.com. They're paying $1 a minute. There's a lot of them out there. And then they can write out that process for you. It's a video turned into a document and it's done. Do you love that? So now we're going from them watching a video, which is great when they forget how to do something, but it's single subject matter, so if something changes, we just reshoot a video, and we send that video to Transcribe Me, and we now have the processes, and we're good to go. So get those processes down. Policy. We have 90 policies within our staging and design company. What happens if there's theft? Where is the time off policy, right? How does it work with our exit interview? All of those things are just a one-page policy that are in our 8 different departments. Those are the umbrella to who changed policy. If your company doesn't have policies, you can never step out and not have it crash. These are the things that help you get to phase 3, right? So check this off the list. Do you have the right people? Do you have the right processes? Do you have policy, company policies, and the products, the services? Are those a suite of services that you can offer so that you can stand out above the competition, right? And it's not you always having to go on the listing appointment. You train that team up, and they are rock stars in what they do. Then, of course, the profit mindset. When you start getting team, and it's not just you doing the work, you have to get to that profitability. Every second is a cent. Every minute is $1. And then you're going to say, where are my ROI, buckets in our business that are keeping everything, rolling? And we have to have that profit mindset. Everything has ROI. This then gets you into freedom, to be able to travel, to be able to speak and pour into other people, whatever those superpowers are that you're about to write down. Here's the difference between phase 2 of building the framework into freedom. Now, what got you here won't get you there, and who got you here won't get you there. So you may need to leverage up with expertise. Okay, so it usually takes, you've heard this probably, 3 to 5 people to replace the business owner because you are doing so much, but you have to figure out, maybe it does just take 1 or 2 people. Maybe I can get an executive director. Maybe I can get someone, 2 key people that if one then leaves, that's why I had to get back in my business one time. I hired an executive director. It doesn't mean it would happen to you. But guess what? They were holding the keys to the company. They left, and then I had to jump back in. So I learned, let's have two people with some split roles in case one does leave. It's not a house of cards. So think about the expertise that you bring and you can hire to be able to leverage. Setting those metrics, every single person should have let's see if anyone can know this. Elaine, yes. What else? Starts with an S. A stat. Every single person, what did you say? A superpower. That is true. Every single person should have a superpower and a stat. And you're so right. Their superpower is the right seat on the bus. But how do we grasp that? Where's the graph? Show me where we're plateauing, if we're declining. By the way, a plateau is a decline because everything's moving. We need to see the graph going up. So every single person and every position should have that stat. The accountability. We set the processes and policies, but when something changes, well, if you didn't change it as a business owner and your executive team didn't change it, then there should be accountability and some type of audit system to make sure everyone is still following what you guys have put in place. And here's the franchise part. You may not want to franchise. You may be part of, an incredible company, but you have to think about your office having everything together that if you were going to go open up and drop in a market, it could run. It's the McDonald's model, right? Push a button, this happens. So is your business franchisable? Can it run without you? Could you duplicate the same office in, 1,000 miles away and you're golden? No one's going to die with our business. We're not doing brain surgery. We're not putting people on Mars. So it is figure-outable. It is figure-outable. Not a word, but it is, right? So have the franchise mindset, because if you can't, imagine your business on Shark Tank. Imagine how would they rip it apart? What would they say is not working? If you can find some holes, fill those holes, and a lot of it is some VA plays. And that's where we want you to understand this fabric as well, right? We're getting you to your legacy play. We're finishing up with legacy. This runs through every single phase. Phase 1, 2, or 3. By the way, you know what phase you're in, everyone? Do we know where we are? Okay. Education continues to run through. Phase 1, you're educating. Phase 2, you continue to educate. Phase 3, I am here taking notes today because I'm learning, right? I'm learning from you guys. Leadership, your leadership. What are you saying to the other person? What are you saying that you shouldn't be saying? How are you leading when no one is looking? Because it's leadership multiplied. Not just addition, it's multiplied. You want to build an ownership mindset within your company, and that comes from leadership. So who's the best in leadership? For us, it's John Maxwell. John Maxwell has every single book on leadership leading teams, exiting, right? During leadership and transition. So make sure you are plugged in as a business owner. It is your duty and obligation. It's your fiduciary responsibility to understand that you are a continuous leader and people are watching. And they're watching especially on your bad days. How are you handling the struggle? Because they will only duplicate what you do. Mentorship. This is more one-on-one, right? There's consultants, there's coaching, there's mentorship. This gets down to us being able to ask questions and masterminding together. Mentorship. John Kitchens, rock star. He has been in our ecosystem for almost those 20 years, right? With Mike and Jay and the amazing team there. Mentorship is huge. You have to have mentor. None of this stops, even at a phase 3, because you have another level. you do have another level. So for us, it was business. We moved from business builder to now asset builder. Remember the cash flow quadrant into the investor? So I want you to right now take literally 30 seconds and write down your 3 superpowers. Let's write them down. If it's not written, it's not real. So let's write those down. What are your top 3 superpowers? It may be one word, it may be a couple of words. It describes what are you an expert at? What have you figured out? Okay, who wants to share a superpower? Go ahead. Anyone raise your hand? Share a superpower. It's okay, you're not bragging. We're in a safe room. People. I love it. So you relate to people, you can really connect with people. And we just heard an amazing talk on that relationship building. Who else? Who has a superpower? Yes. Negotiating. Ooh, love that. Superpower. Inspiring people. Love that. Anyone else? Grit. Wow. So whatever your superpowers are, how do you now make that your legacy play? So for us, going back to our superpowers, we knew that we weren't going to now just go make cakes. It had to be part of what we were doing. And this is how the legacy play turned out, right? We knew that we wanted, for the legacy play, it would deposit time, it would deposit income, and it would deposit purpose. So time, income, purpose. This is where now you get as a business owner moving to phase 3. So for us, our legacy play is short-term rental. So I'm going to give you guys just a little bit, just a little touch. We do workshops, we do coaching and masterminding. We knew that this was going to deposit time, money, and it was also going to give us a purpose because we love hospitality. We love being able to minister through the marketplace, and we know that for us is short-term rental. So we knew, hey, the numbers made sense. With that investor play, the numbers made sense. Look at this. Airbnb compared to Marriott, and that's only Airbnb, by the way, at 49% of the market. Huge. We also knew that this was a way that we could teach people to build their legacy within real estate and sector into short-term rental. And, again, I just wanted to pull a few things. My time is almost up, but these were the ways that we were able to help build financial freedom for other people. We're living it. We have our own book of business in short-term rental and also teaching others. We were practicing. We practice what we preach. So that superpower has to stay with you. We understood the must, the wants, and the desires of our clients, and now bringing that into properties, and it's just been an amazing journey. So we walked through with people, how to build their legacy play within real estate, and particularly short-term rental. We got everything is figure outable. So we took something that could be complicated, and how do we make it automated? And the cool thing is, now our coaching clients that are businesses throughout the country, this allows them to now have a business that they can serve people, they can set up, but they can also build their legacy. So we're taking these business owners and we're transitioning them to investors. So how do they scale smart? How do they make something more automated and duplicated? We've got our things here of systems and framework and partners, knowing the locations. We literally became a business that only served Dallas-Fort Worth into a national and international play here. So it was a really good thing. Now, because like the 7-year itch, you can get the 7-year itch in your business. You have put so much into this. We needed a bigger play. We needed to move from the pond to the pool. And then you've got to make sure that there's hungry fish in that pool. And short-term rental made sense for us. I'm just showing you my transition, right? So that is the story of my business being a struggling phase 1, some exciting times then to phase 2, managing the teams into phase 3, into our legacy play. So I want to ask you, what is your legacy play? And if you guys have questions on short-term rental, if you have more questions on business without you, this is a way you can get in touch with us. We would absolutely love to help you on the journey. If you have a question about VAs and you're kind of on the fence, I will be open and real 100%, because I want you guys to experience the freedom that we've experienced. And having those VAs got us there faster. I'm phase 3 out of one business. I'm getting to phase 3 out of our coaching and training business. And you, if I can do it, I know you can do it. So find your superpower and build the legacy. Thank you guys so much.